Round of 16 in the Champions League. First leg has just started. Well, actually, just concluded. Nick, I gotta ask you, who's the best team so far?
It's hard to go with anybody but Bayern Munich.
I agree. What a matchup. But we'll get more into the Champions League as the episode goes. That's Nick Tazio. I'm Dan Federico. This is the Dan Federico Show. And then, all right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Daniel Federico Show. We have a great show, but we have to kick off our show with a
Mhm.
Canadian icon. SGA Shy Gilgeous Alexander breaks Wilt Chamberlain's record of most consecutive games of scoring at least 20 points. The record was 126 consecutive games. Shea broke that last night against Boston. And the coolest thing is that he broke it at home, and now the record is 127 consecutive games. And on all of these games, he's been averaging 32 and a half points for the last 127 games. And a 104-102 win over Boston last night. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander breaks the record. That's awesome. Hamilton, Ontario, SGA. Nick, what do you think about that? MVP, right? MVP, MVP. You got to go two-peating
MVP,
on this.
MVP. He's got to be. He's got to be the MVP so far. I mean, the guy, if you take his stats right now, he's what, like second in the league in scoring, averaging 30. He's been doing that the last 4 years. Like this guy is a perennial 30 point per game scorer. And yeah, I broke it last night. Wilt, obviously known for being a scoring merchant.
Holding on to
Uh,
that record for 63 years, too.
Yeah. And Wilt is like, that's not even like the craziest of his records. He has
I
statistics
know.
that are ridiculous. So it's,
Like the 100-point game.
yeah, 100-point game if it even
Is it
happens.
real? I gotta ask you this actually. Sorry, we're gonna go off track here for a second. We'll get back to SGA. Do you
Mhm.
believe that 100-point game by Wilt Chamberlain? I do. I'm a believer in it. I think it's real.
I mean, I think it's, yeah, probably. I mean, and this is because all the outrage about Bam Adebayo scoring 83 and breaking and passing Kobe for second on the list for a single game scoring record.
Ah, yeah.
And this is kind of this is why we're talking about this. Yeah, I believe it happened. I do. You have
I
actual people who say they were there, like eyewitnesses and whatnot. It's just the fact that there's no footage.
If you think about it, look at the time that he was playing in and when he dropped the 100-point game. Like obviously, like if you put Kobe or even if you put Bam or LeBron or Steph, anybody in this era or in the last two eras, they were gonna go score 100 points in Wilt Chamberlain's era. I truly believe that they would score 100 points because bro, Wilt was a freak athlete too. If
Mhm.
everything is true, what I've seen on the internet about Wilt Chamberlain, this guy was a freak athlete. So him
Mhm.
scoring 100 points, awesome. But honestly, if you put anybody like Michael Jordan, LeBron, or literally anybody in this era or last era in Wilt Chamberlain's era, they're also going to drop 100 points. Just look at the competition he was playing against. And it's because Wilt Chamberlain was so ahead of his time. This guy was a freak. But let's go back to SGA for a second. Canadian, Hamilton, Ontario, won the MVP last year, won the NBA championship last year. Last night he scores 35 points, nine assists in the win, and he breaks the record. I just don't know what's cooler is that he's Canadian or that he's an NBA superstar and he broke Wilt Chamberlain's record. What's cooler do you think? I think everything is cool. He's Canadian and broke Wilt Chamberlain's record, and I think it's cooler that he's Canadian over breaking the record.
Uh, Probably that he's Canadian, but just by like this much.
Yeah, right? It's close.
It's super close. It's and yeah, he's from Hamilton. Very close. I'm from Hamilton. Daniel is from Niagara, so still
Close.
close, but
Yeah.
it's you know, I think it's more impressive that he broke one of Wilt Chamberlain's records, just because
Yeah.
Wilt Chamberlain's records seem to be in like a stratosphere of their own when talking about like crazy records in the NBA, like insane feats that are unlikely to be surpassed. Wilt Chamberlain is just in a different category. So for a guy like him, like Shea, from Hamilton, went to McNabb, McNabb High School, so did my father. It's really cool that he's the one to do this, and it just speaks to what kind of a player he is and how he's kind of against the grain in the NBA now. Because, obviously the modern game entails dishing out three pointers from crazy range. And Shea, he's not like that. He's more of a mid-range throwback 90s scorer. And I just love watching him play the game. I know a lot of people they get upset because they think he foul baits and he goes to the line a lot. But you know what? Like it's not just him.
It's the new NBA. It's the new NBA.
Yeah, and it's been the new NBA. Personally, that's one of the reasons why I'm not a huge fan of the NBA in general. I don't think that, and
That
this is a
solidifies
wider
like
what's
it
up?
solidifies Bam Adebayo's game that he had and when he dropped 83 points a couple nights ago. Like, come on, that's the new NBA.
Yeah, I mean, but like to me, like it's not like what we're watching now with like guys and how they get to the line and how they pad their scoring stats in various ways. It's not basketball. And also it's the over-reliance of shooting the three, it's not basketball either. It's eliminated so many parts of the game that used to make certain players great. Like, 'cause, and guys and the guy to blame for all this is Steph freaking Curry. And I love Steph
Yeah,
Curry. He is the one to blame for all this.
he's
Like
he changed the game, man. He changed the game.
he changed the game for better or for worse.
No,
That's
I think it's for better.
it's
I'm a
for
big
better.
three
I
point
shouldn't have
guy,
said that.
but the one thing is, um, if you went into the paint, you're getting an elbow to your nose. Like you're probably like they made sure that it would be a mistake driving in the paint back in the day. I don't
Yeah,
know. I wasn't alive or I was very young, but the stories you hear and the games you watch on TV or on YouTube of just reruns of like the early 90s or even the late 90s and early 2000s, if you drove in the paint, you're getting murdered. You're getting bodied. It
yeah.
was a mistake. And honestly, for Steph, you could easily say that it was for worse or for the best. I think it's for the best because, 3 point. I love watching 3 points. I like watching players like Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Um, but also it could be for the worst because now, you got everybody popping up half court shots.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and it is for better. I shouldn't have said, is it for better or for worse?
No, it's a great debate topic though.
It's just, to me, it's like you walk into a gym, right? Or you go watch like a youth basketball game, and every kid out there is trying to be Steph Curry.
Yeah.
And they're not thinking about the fundamentals of
Why is no one trying to be like
boxing
Shaq and why is no one trying to be like Shaquille O'Neal and just box out everybody, be a ginormous human?
because Steph Curry ruined that too, because now big guys can shoot threes. Like look at Victor Wembanyama. I love Victor Wembanyama
Yeah, I'm a big, but also let's bring it back to Bam Adebayo. He for some reason he shot 20 threes and I think he only made seven of them. Let me check the stat line again. I was watching the game a little bit. I was kind of catching it when he had 31 off after the first half, and I think it was one of the Barstool guys that said, like on Twitter, he goes, he might go for 70 tonight. I think it was after the first half, and I go, yeah, I gotta tune in on this. This might be a historic watch here. I was watching probably all the way from halfway through the second quarter. The amount of times that this guy went to the line is like laughable. Like that's like I'm all like I love sports. I love saying the positives about sports. Um, Congratulations getting 83 points. Like that's cool. Like that's very cool.
Yeah.
The way that it happened, that was not basketball. Because if you look at
Oh,
Kobe's 81 game, I think he only went to the line. I don't even know how many times he went to the line. 20 times total.
yeah, I
I
mean,
think out of his 81, it was 20 points.
but this is the flip side of that because Kobe did do that kind of stuff in that game too.
Oh no, he did, but he
As,
didn't.
as good,
But he didn't go to the line 43 times.
no, but it's also like it also invites a wider debate of whether that's like you need to do that. Like
Hmm.
in the parameters of today's game with games being how long they are, and also athletes and players playing the way they are and training the way they are, maybe you need to do things that might be considered, corner cutting to get those statistical marks. Because how often, excuse me, are you going to be able to see in this day and age where like nutrition and training is at its highest? How often are you going to be able to see a guy go for, I don't know, 70, which is not often in and of itself, but like how often are you going to see him go for 70 and have it just be purely about scoring?
Yeah,
Not
you're
about going to the line or it doesn't happen. So maybe it invites a wider discussion of you whether you need
yeah.
to do those things in order to score it. And Bam, like you can't blame him
No, you
because
can't. Because there was actually times where he was getting roughed up. He was
yeah.
getting roughed up. Like I would say like obviously the refs also made a lot of bad calls in this game
Hmm.
for Bam, like towards Miami, so they can go to the line. But there was times where he was getting roughed up, like on purpose. But I think it was around when he had like 50 points. He was getting bullied. Like these fouls they were getting gruesome. So I can't blame Bam. It's
Yeah.
awesome. It's a historic night for him. 83 points. I'm pumped up for it. But I just hate how, you know, 43 times the line. He's just throwing up Hail Marys at half the time or 3-pointers. But what I do really love, like I think 83 is cool. I think the 83 points is awesome. That's awesome. What I do also love is Miami was like forcing it too. So they were like, "Get your 80, let's get the 83 points. Like let's get to 83." Like they were passing it to him. They were just letting him shoot it. Like they didn't care
Yeah.
because they were up by so much. I love that. I think that is like that's a glue guy if you ever seen one for Bam Adebayo. Like he's a glue guy clearly in that locker room.
He is, and he's just like what do you call him? Old like lunch pail kind of guys, like blue collar lunch pail, going to work and just doing the dirty work.
I just love his stat line though because it's like it's literally not real. Like he played 41 minutes. He still had 9 boards, 3 assists. Um, 20 for 43 from the field goal, 36 for 43 from the free throw line. I think that broke a record too, right?
I'm not sure.
I could be
Did
mistaken
it?
on that one too, but
I don't
7
know.
for 22 from the 3 point. This guy shot
Just
22 3-pointer. He was just chucking
chucking,
them. He was just chucking them.
just chucking up threes, and whatever, man. That's what I gotta say. Whatever. Like
Yeah, I
everyone,
know. Awesome.
everyone's so
Congratulations to Bam Adebayo. Absolutely pumped up. Like that was cool for him. That's a cool night,
yeah,
special night. That's a great night for the NBA.
yeah.
One thing before we move on is I absolutely hate what the coaches were saying too. Like the opposing coaches around the league, they're like they all had comments. Over a lot of the coaches around the NBA
Yeah.
had comments on Bam Adebayo's game. Who cares, honestly?
Who cares?
I think you got to be more. I think you got to be more like upset and mad at the Wizards team for allowing the 83 points.
No,
Like you
you
can't be
do.
mad about Miami or anything near the officials or anything. Oh, you could probably the officials. There were some bad calls, but not 83 points worthy of bad calls. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like he
and
was gonna get 83 points regardless if the refs made the right call, like 3 right calls.
well, it does help that you said they were playing the Wizards because the
Yeah.
Wizards are like openly trying to lose basketball games so they can tank. Like they're not even trying to
Yeah.
win anymore.
Yeah, they
Um,
don't care.
they don't care.
But
They
like,
don't.
but you have to have some pride. Like those players are playing with some sort of pride. Like they don't want 83 points put on their head top.
No, no. Especially, and what did Bam have? Was it like 63 through like three quarters?
Yes, yeah. Going into the fourth quarter, he had
Yeah.
63 or
So that's
65.
that's nuts. And then the fourth quarter was like
They were
like
just giving it to him. They were just giving it to him. They're
it
just
was
feeding
given
him.
to him, and he's throwing the rock off the backboard off in a free throw attempt to try to get it back.
I love that. I absolutely loved it.
See, that's not basketball. That's why I said that I
Yeah, I
hate.
know that. Yeah, I know. I 100% get where you're coming. Like that's not basketball. Like, but a lot of this is not basketball. Like that
No,
game, a
no.
lot of it was not basketball.
Yeah, this
Like,
became like some guy like desperately trying to get this amount of points. That's
yeah.
what it became.
But I
And
like it though. Like I was pumped up for it. Like that actually, it was actually entertaining. Like to watch that because basketball is kind of hard to it's a hard sport to be entertaining for 4 quarters. It's very entertaining in the last 2 minutes. Like I watched um probably like last night the SGA game Boston versus OKC. I think I watched like halfway through the second quarter and on last night. I gotta say that was a terrific football game. I'm so used to saying terrific football game, but no, but I have to say last night's game, OKC versus Boston, that was a terrific basketball game for all 4 quarters, and the fans were getting into it. Like they were loud, they were excited to it. They've been loud all year. Like that Thunder fandom, like fans over there in Oklahoma, tremendous people over there, and and then SGA getting his record at home is just truly special. Also, Jalen Brown's performance last night was tremendous too. It was an excellent performance, but it's also going to be, sabotaged by SGA's record. But that was a great game. That was a great 4 quarters of basketball last night. And I honestly can't remember the last time I watched an NBA game and I was like, yo, that was a great 4 quarters. Maybe one of the Raptors games early on, but yeah, last night I was like, whoo, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it was a good game. I liked it a lot in between two of, the league's best teams, obviously. I think furthermore, Jalen Brown deserves MVP consideration just for the way he's carried this team
Yeah,
without,
without Tatum, and Tatum was like has played
yeah.
what 2 games this year, and he's back out injured.
And it's not gonna be Brown either. That's the thing. It's
I
not.
know it's not gonna be Brown, but it should be. Like I really agree with you on that because Brown's playing awesome, man.
But if Shea finishes the year averaging what he's averaging and continuing to do what he's doing, and the Thunder keep winning these games, and let's say they're number one again out of the West,
Yep.
you can't not give it to him.
Literally, like you literally can't. But he has to play his games. Like he has to hit his
That's the
65 game
point.
mark. He has to play. Like he has to hit his 65 game mark in the NBA for to be eligible for that rule to get the MVP. And I think he will. But like
Yeah.
does he care about the record more, or like he already has the record, but does he care about the MVP anymore because he already has one? And then he's just gonna see if he find a way to rest his body for playoffs. Like honestly, there's a lot of things that can happen, but I think truly that he knows that he has a real good chance to win back to back. It would be back to back MVPs, right?
Yeah, it'd be back to back.
Yeah,
If you ask him, obviously he's going to be like, "Oh, I only care about the wins and this and that." But like
yeah.
privately, man, like he's not saying no to an
You
MVP.
ever talk to a basketball player? When do they care about team awards?
I don't know. Personally haven't spoken to many basketball players, so but
I've
it's like
talked to a lot of basketball players. They do truly care about team awards, but once individual awards come up, oh
oh yeah,
yeah,
scoring titles.
forget about the team. I'm in it for me,
Well, in basketball, I think too, like individual awards matter more in terms of discussing legacies than it does for like football.
100%. Like it's not like the NHL and stuff like that. Like if you won 3, 4, 5 Stanley Cups
Hmm.
in your career, you're one of the best. Or Super Bowls, you're one of the best. Like you could only
Yeah.
like stuff like that. Like I think basketball is the one sport. It's because that's just how the players react to it. Individual awards.
I mean, yeah, at baseball, you can say the same thing in terms of like individual statistics. Like,
But that makes sense though because like how baseball is. It's batter
uh,
versus pitcher. It's batter versus pitcher.
yeah, basketball, that's true. That's an exception. But basketball, I feel like it's just a different outlook. Like, what matters more in terms of this in your mind in terms of discussing two players' legacies? Like, if you are comparing a couple players, let's do a football player and a basketball player in the wider context of what makes these players better or what is more impressive. What jumps out to you? A player leading the NFL in passing yards or somebody having a scoring title in the NBA? Because for me, it's a scoring title.
I think it would go scoring time because we've witnessed it in it. The players
Yeah.
that lead the league in passing yards in the NFL doesn't really mean much. Depending if they have the touchdowns with it too.
I
And
mean,
we have to go how many times a game are they throwing? Because there's sometimes teams that are just throwing 20 to 25 times a game. But there's also teams that are throwing 35 to 40 times a game because their run game is non-existent and they're down all the time. Scoring titles, though, I really like that because they're on average taking 15 to 20 shots.
Mhm.
And there's always that one night, but you don't really see many guys take those 30 shots consistently, 40 shots consistently on a night in, night out basis. I would say it's probably 25, late 20s of shots that they're taking a game. I think I agree with you on the scoring title.
Yeah, that's just where I'm at. But like all in all, to break it down to what we were talking about originally, great game last night. Good for Shea. I'm happy he did it. It's something different when you break one of Wilt's records, just because he's got so many of them and they're so ludicrous. But this is just another notch in SGA's belt, and he's in the midst of another wonderful season. And the Thunder, they're in the driver's seat. So
Yep.
yeah.
And he's Canadian. We gotta love that, but we gotta move on. Miami, Ohio, undefeated season ends. It is no more. They lost in the first round to UMass, the first round of the MAC tournament to UMass. The final score 87 to 83. Should they be a part of the March Madness tournament? Should they be a part of the dance? Nick, do you want to kick it off with what your opinion is, or do you want me to start?
I'll start
Okay,
this
yeah,
time.
go ahead. Take the floor away, Nick.
Floor is taken, spotlight is on. Let's do it, Daniel. So it's absolute criminal blasphemy if the Miami of Ohio Redhawks do not make the dance. They deserve to go dancing. And guess who doesn't? Stephen Pearl's Auburn Tigers.
They
And I
go,
think
yes, bang, exactly.
they because that's the wide discussion in the media. You turn on sports talk radio, ESPN, Get Up, whatever. Go read it
First take, we're
on.
talking about it this morning.
It's always Miami of Ohio and Auburn. And then if okay, so let's boil it down. Let's just look at those two teams. So Miami of Ohio, 15 since the turn of the century to go undefeated through the regular season. They went 31 and 0. That's awesome. I think they're the 21st team overall. Last team to do that was like Gonzaga in
Yep.
2021. And they were a bunch of bottlers. So they were kind of like uh, Gonzaga is the Arsenal of college basketball.
Yep.
But but Miami of Ohio, like they're undefeated, and I understand they're an at-large berth and all that. And Bruce Pearl got on TNT and he's like, they got to win their conference tournament. And yeah, losing to UMass in any sport is bad publicity.
Yeah, like that's bad, but UMass's basketball program is pretty decent.
It's pretty decent, but and I know Miami of Ohio, they're not a blue blood, but they were undefeated. So you can't not put them in. Since 85, Daniel, when the tournament expanded to 64 teams, there has never been a team with more than 28 wins to miss the tournament. So this would be a first on that standpoint. And then what's everyone boiling this down to? Well, it's strength of schedule, right? So strength of schedule, like obviously they played a pretty bad schedule.
But
Like
is it their fault that their conference sucks? They just played their schedule. You're not going to see
no,
these top 10 teams go to them.
no, you're not, and it's not their fault. But like in the contrast, their strength of record is like 21st in the country. Their strength of schedule is like 260 something. So that just
Yeah.
shows you the disparity between the two of them. Look, you can't not have them in. That's just the thing. Like it would be such a bad look for the NCAA, for all these talking heads too, who think that just because Miami of Ohio played a bad schedule, that they shouldn't be in. It's going to be a bad look for them. It's just going to be a bad look for the sport as a whole
It's
because
going to look bad for all of NCAA.
yeah, it's just in total, if they don't get in, and let's say Auburn does get in, who, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, are 17 and 16 and lost 8 of their last 11 regular season
And
games.
don't they have a relative that is on the committee?
I think so. But they play in the SEC, so
Yeah. They, but you want to know something?
what?
We've already been through this in the football when there was the football season. ESPN and the SEC network, that ESPN and SEC bias. It's a different sport. And have you? I hear these guys talk about Miami of Ohio, and it seems like I think the only thing that they have is the strength of schedule. It's like they haven't even watched them play basketball or haven't even watched these games because the teams that they're going up against, yes, they're bad, but it seems like that they pick it up another level, another notch when they're playing against Miami, Ohio. Like UMass yesterday when I was watching that game, and I watched the UMass game probably 2 weeks before yesterday. It looked like a completely different UMass team yesterday against Miami, Ohio. But it also did look like a different Miami, Ohio Redhawks team. They looked like once the national spotlight was on them, they crumbled. So you could put that as another debate on not to have them in. I think you have to let them in. 31 and 1 record. They have one loss. That one loss came in the MAC tournament. You want to know why the NBA does a best of 7 series? Because the best team will win majority of the time. The MAC conference tournament, if you it doesn't really mean much. I think the regular season, what you do in a consistent 30, 31 games should matter a lot more than just one knockout game in the MAC tournament. And I think they're going to get it right. But then when they do get it right and they let them in the tournament, it's going to be the final, or it's going to be the first four. That's the first game that they're going to play. They're not going to have an automatic bye to the first round, the actual first round. It's going to be the first four. It's probably going to be them against Auburn. That game, I hope it happens because I can honestly believe that Miami, Ohio, if they're paired up against Auburn, and I don't know the actual date on when the first four games are about to be played on, but if you want to Google that quickly before I finish this sentence, um, if Miami, Ohio is met up with Auburn in the first round of the first four of the tournament, Miami, Ohio is going to win that game. And I promise you that. I promise everybody.
Tuesday, March 17th, Wednesday, March 18th. So next week.
So next week, yep, that's when the tournament starts, and those are the 2 days when the first four happens. Miami, Ohio will win that, and I think it will hush a lot of haters. And I hope it's against Auburn, and I hope it'll feel a lot better against Auburn. Because when you have a 31 and 1 record, I'm talking about consistency here. You know how hard it is to find consistency in anything in this world? Like sometimes I have a sweet tooth. Sometimes the candy tastes different every time you buy a new bag of like Jolly Ranchers. It seems like sometimes, not all the time, it's sometimes. So sometimes candy is not even consistent. You're finding a bunch of college students and playing the game that they love and they've gotten really good at and being consistent at it. This is a brotherhood that was consistent for 31 straight games. They cannot let that go. 31
No.
and 1 record. That's a, if that's not March, then I don't know what March is.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about consistency. They have the best shooting percentage in the country. It's like 52%. And then they're top 10 also in three-point percentage. That's consistency right there. You might be able to play against bad teams, but you got to make your shots. So again, this is just stupid national blue-blooded bias.
Yep.
And
It's
it
SEC bias.
SEC, well, it's nepotistic bias because Bruce Pearl even said it too. This, ladies and gentlemen, sorry to cuss. This isn't me talking out of my ass. Bruce Pearl said on TV, did I promote my son and leave my son the job in a nepotistic form? Yes, he said that. Book it, Google it. He said that. That's what Bruce Pearl said. So you know what? That all this is to me is just a dumb stigma. That's what it is. And I'm fired up now. You got me fired up on a Friday evening.
I'm fired up too. And if Miami and Ohio play against each other in the first four matchup on Wednesday afternoon or whatever next week, the whole entire country, I bet, actually two countries, Canada and the United States, are going to be tuning in because that is going to be a ginormous matchup. And I think Bruce Pearls is going to have to watch that game very closely. And if they lose that, he's going to have to deactivate. If they lose that game, if Auburn loses that game, I do not want to see him on ESPN ever again.
Oh, he will be there. Don't worry.
Yeah.
You worry, Daniel. Don't you worry.
But Miami, Ohio, I can't wait to see what Selection Sunday brings. Me and Nick, we shoot on Sunday. We have a show on Sunday night. It'll come out Monday. We'll talk about the Selection Sunday and what happened on the weekend. And we better see Miami, Ohio's name in there. If we're going to see I think there's what's the team that's been doing the fins up? Is that Long Island?
That would make sense because they are the
I think
Frogs.
it's Long Island University. They have five Canadians on that team, but three of them coming from Toronto, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
And they're going dancing in March.
and they're going dancing in March.
So
So
that would be my Cinderella team to root for, the Long Island University. Go Fins. Fins up.
I'll come back to you with mine. I'll do some research just because I haven't been paying as much attention to college basketball as some other people have. So I'm going to I'll come back to you on Sunday. So Monday's show, ladies and gentlemen, on Monday you will have my answer.
I'm down for that. Um, but I can't wait. It's been great. I'm watching the Tennessee game right now. It's at halftime. It's been great. Great college basketball is going on. Great conference tournaments been playing. I've been watching it all day. Yesterday, I wish I took a photo of my setup was like all day. I had my iPad, my computer, and then I brought a TV from downstairs. And you know one of those I bought on Amazon. It's like you
Yeah.
put a TV on wheels. So I just put my TV on it and then now I can put it anywhere I want around my house. So I brought it up here. Then I have my second TV. Bro, I had
Elementary school vibes rolling in the TV.
elementary school vibes, but this time with a flat screen. So the world got better. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So you've just been like, have you been in the lair doing research and watching games?
dude, but this is what I do all the time when it comes like I do this all the time. Like this is kind of like a normal day. FIFA World Cup, Euros, summertime with baseball too. Sometimes when like the CFL, like if it's on the exact same day, it gets a little bit way more chaotic than
Yeah,
my setup. This March, I usually have when I was at school, I would have four boxes on the program. Like I because like I have IPTV, you can get four boxes. I would have
yeah.
that up. But yesterday I just didn't because I wanted main screen on that TV, main screen of that game, main screen of this game, main screen of this game. Like sometimes you just gotta do it because bro. And the greatest thing is that's my brain could watch it all at once, and it's the greatest thing ever. But it's not. There's really no sound. The only sound is the main screen game because that's the game I wanted to watch the most. But like I'm watching, paying attention. I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. But just
Yeah,
wait, I'm gonna take a photo next time I do a setup. Will probably be Sunday or actually probably be Monday when I do a setup like that. The greatest setup, probably the all-time sports, and it's literally just right up in my face, and I love it.
that's the best. I don't
Sports, sports, sports.
absolutely. And you know what? I wish I had a TV where I record because I'm in the basement right now, and I always think about man, I if I could just I'd have basketball on right now, but you know,
If you could just watch and record, like I'm doing that right now, like I'm loving it.
yeah.
If
In
it's
your
halftime
zone.
though, I could always switch it, but no, this is a good game right now, Tennessee. But we got to move on.
Yes.
We have some football news. We're going to be talking about um, the NFL first, and then we got some Canadian football news. First, let's start with Kyler Murray signing a one-year deal with the Minnesota Vikings. Um, the former Heisman winner is going to the best possible spot to rebuild his career in Kevin O'Connell's offense. Kevin O'Connell has rebuilt the careers of Kirk Cousins, Sam Darnold. He just won the Super Bowl. And if everybody remembers Joshua Dobbs for 3 games a couple of years ago, that was that was a Kevin O'Connell masterclass to get to trade for Josh Dobbs, brings him in, gets 3 wins out of him. Awesome. But Kevin O'Connell and Kyler Murray teaming up in Minnesota. This is going to be great for Kyler Murray, I think. Um, we've seen we've seen O'Connell do this time in and time out, bringing a quarterback in, fixing him up, and they're going on their own way to get an absolute bag somewhere else. What do you think? You think that's going to happen with Kyler too?
I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not a big Kyler fan, so I'm pretty inclined to say like no, to be honest with you. It's only a 1 year deal, so it's just like a prove it deal for the Vikings and only and credit to them, they're only paying like 1.3 million out of his contract because it's like the other 36, 37 million that he's tethered to is getting paid for by the Cardinals. Just based on what I know Kyler to be, and I'm a Seahawk fan, so I'm used to seeing Kyler a couple times a year. Inconsistent play. When he's on, he's on. I'll say that. Like when he is
Right before Call of
firing
Duty drops. Right before Call of Duty drops.
right before the new season drops, right before he goes back to play Nuketown, he's just, so I think his highs are really high. Like he's got a really good arm. He's a short guy, but he just buzzes around the backfield. And I wouldn't necessarily call him fast, but I would say he's quick. And that's an important distinction because Lamar Jackson is fast. Kyler Murray is quick. They're two different types of mobile quarterbacks. And
Yeah.
this is by far going to be, well, actually, I don't want to say by far because look what just happened to Sam Darnold, but this arguably is Kevin O'Connell's most talented quarterback that he's got at his disposal that he's had as a head coach. And I say arguably because Sam Darnold does have a lot of natural arm talent coming in from USC into the NFL. He was viewed as a really talented guy who could make a number of throws that most people couldn't. So um, for the Vikings, this is a good deal. You're getting a two-time Pro Bowl guy for cheap. But it's up to Kyler to turn it around. He sounds optimistic. Like I've heard what he's had
He
to say.
sounds pumped up. I guess like he was saying in the media that he cried when Brett Favre threw an interception in the NFC Championship game in the early 2000s because I guess he was a Minnesota fan, and I guess when he was growing up, I saw a tweet. I'll insert the tweet probably in the show if I can find it again, um, of Kyler Murray and a not in Minnesota, but in a Vikings gear when he was playing minor league football when he was a kid. So I think he's excited to be in Minnesota. I think he's excited to be the starting quarterback in Minnesota. I think this is also going to help JJ McCarthy in the long run because to be honest, they've given JJ McCarthy chances. He's played just decent and he hasn't played consistently because he's always in and out of the lineup. And he honestly missed the whole last season. But overall, I think this is a great move for the Vikings. I think this is going to really enhance Kyler Murray's, not Kyler Murray's, JJ McCarthy's development too, to work under him. Anything else on the Kyler Murray signing?
No, just I agree with you about I think it will only help McCarthy. The other thing I will say though, it's not a foregone conclusion that O'Connell brought Kyler Murray in to push McCarthy so they could compete for the job.
Yeah, so let's see who wins it. That's gonna be a training camp story, but I think it's gonna be Kyler Murray, right?
Should be.
It should be, right?
If it's
So
not, it's probably not the greatest it's not the best thing for him. If he
yeah,
gives
if he
this job
doesn't
to
win
JJ
it,
McCarthy,
if Kyler Murray doesn't win it, but is he gonna like just quit football and go to baseball?
or just go and quit and make double the money and play video games for a living.
Is he gonna go join the FaZe clan and become a professional gamer in Call of Duty?
He probably could, and I don't know if he's a good gamer. Like I don't know anything about that, but like I would be willing to bet, Daniel, that the FaZe clan would not turn away a potential member that also moonlighted as a professional football quarterback.
Yeah, that'd be
So,
pretty sick. That'd be pretty dope.
and
But
Bronny,
let's move to some U Sports news. Cal Withers transferring from Laurier. He's spent 1 year as the Golden Hawks quarterback, and he's transferring back to the States. Gonna go play in the Big Ten Conference for Maryland. Nick, what do you think about that? He had one of the best OUA seasons I've seen in a long time and maybe ever, and now he's transferring back, and he's going to probably be the backup quarterback at Maryland.
I think I think it's an opportunity for him that he can't pass up to
Yeah,
play in the Big Ten, to play for Maryland. There has to be NIL things going on too. Look, he had a great year last year, but the fact of the matter is last year was his only year of any sort of collegiate football experience at a starting role. He committed to Ohio in the MAC out of high school. I think he spent 2 or 3 seasons there and didn't play a rep. It's fine. Comes to Laurier, replaces Taylor Elgersma, who sets the world on fire and is drawing interest from the NFL. So Wither comes back. He's from Waterloo, so it's kind of like coming home, and he lights it up.
Yeah, it
26
was a homecoming. It was a really nice homecoming for him.
it was a really nice homecoming. He essentially was the best quarterback in the country for U Sports. Um, and he parlayed this into a pretty great opportunity for him. Look, even if he doesn't see the field, to go from Laurier to Maryland, that's a pretty big jump to go from a U Sports team to a Big Ten team. And obviously it'll only become more amplified if he does see the field for Maryland, but I don't see him playing. They do have a starter so far, Malik Washington, four-star guy out of high
Yep.
school. And Cal is coming in and he's joining a quarterback room where basically everybody but Malik hasn't had any starting experience. So essentially, he's in the same bucket as a number of guys on the roster. I don't see how this would help Maryland in terms of, improving as a Big Ten team. They went 4-8 last
Yeah,
year.
they went 4-8 last year, but they're also adding a guy that just had an average of 309 yards per game in the OUA last year. And Malik Washington doesn't, pan out because they were 4-8 last year. They were bad. They were a bad football team last year. And if they see something in Withers, and you know who probably sees something in Withers is Hall of Famer, CFL Hall of Famer, former BC Lion, G. Roy Simon, who is the Executive Director of Revenue Sharing Management and General Manager of this football operation of Maryland. So maybe he sees something in Callum Withers. He's going to be working with a great quarterback coach, and he honestly has a pretty solid head coach. So he's going to learn a lot. And honestly, the door for to ever come back is never closed. Like to
No,
come back to Laurier is never closed. But I gotta ask you this though. Actually, if you
yeah.
want to speak one more thing. But first, Cal Withers was a first team All Canadian and a first OUA first team All Star this year. But I gotta ask you, what is Laurier's direction now going into next season? New head coach now, as
Yeah.
far as left to Western. But what is their direction now at the quarterback position? What because you spent time closely, you moderate their situation when you write for Obsessed. What is their quarterback room even looking like? And give us a couple names if you do know them, if you do know what's going on, for people to look out for this season that could potentially be the starting quarterback. Maybe not only if like just what's up? What's up over there in Laurier?
Yeah. So a bit of a hiccup that they've hit, a couple hiccups certainly since they went to the Vanier. I, I wasn't expecting Falls to leave. I don't think many people in the building were. For him, it was a golden opportunity to go coach one of the country's most successful programs, but also his alma mater. So I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Taylor came and went. Ethan Jordan is not coming back either, as he's maxed out all of his years of eligibility. So looking at Laurier now, it's kind of they've lost some talent, let's just say. They've lost some talent. I wouldn't expect them to be flying at the same levels as they have been the past 2 or 3 seasons. In terms of quarterback, I think as of right now, it's hard to not see it being Will Russell, who is their backup. He was Withers' prime backup this year, and he mostly saw playing time in short yardage goal to go situations where they would put him on the goal line and he would sneak it. He's a pretty big guy. He's a pretty athletic guy. Actually, he was my brother's quarterback in high school. They both played on the same football team.
Sweet.
So Will, I kind of know what kind of player he is from a deeper standpoint. I know he comes from a baseball background, so he can throw the ball at a number of different arm angles, and he's a really talented athlete. So I think he'll be the number one guy going forward. They also have a couple other options. Isaac Willis from Toronto, he's an option. He's been there as well a couple years. Nathan Constancio. But if you had to ask me who it would be, I would have to say Will Russell. Obviously barring any transfers that could happen. So, There's also actually, excuse me, there's a second year guy on the team. His name is Riley Chalmers. So he's another option. He's a very talented guy. He's also from Toronto. So look out for Riley Chalmers, but I would say Will Russell probably is he would be the odds-on favorite.
It's going to be probably a quarterback competition in training camp. Probably actually right now because I'm pretty sure spring camp starts soon. Um, it's hard for me to say that, that I'm a Queens guy. It's hard for me to say that Queens performance made Callum Withers transfer out of the U Sports after throwing 4 interceptions in that playoff game. Let me just get one thing. Let me just get one thing.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Let's
He's
go.
voting. Oh my God.
Callum, this team right here sent Callum Withers packing out of the U
Oh
Sports.
my.
Let's go, Queens.
What a homer. Look at him.
Oh, and the helmet dropped.
That's
But
all
yeah,
right.
no, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing around. It's an opportunity that you really can't give up and you really can't say no to. Well, I messed up my hair a little bit
I was
there.
gonna say somebody really needs to clip that of you with the helmet on. You need to clip that and that needs to be your profile picture on social. That needs to be your profile picture on socials, bro.
That sounds good. But no, like we gotta move on too. But I gotta say that's a great opportunity for Callum.
Yeah.
I liked watching him play this season too. He for sure was one of the best quarterbacks, and so happy that he's Canadian and he's gonna go make for sure the U Sports. He's gonna go make U Sports proud over there in Maryland, and I bet any chance that he gets and any opportunity he gets, he's gonna make the most out of it. That was just a joke, by the way. I just know there's some people in this world that are gonna take that a little too seriously. Nah, that was just a joke, by the way. I just got to disclaimer that.
PSA?
Yeah, just there's a lot of soft people in this world. They're gonna be like, I don't know, just gonna be butthurt over that joke or something. No, that was just a joke. But we got to move on. Let's talk about the former Western quarterback Evan Hillock signs with the Paris Lights of the AFLE, the American Football League of Europe. Whew, that was a tough one to say. The league where my Vienna Vikings play and your Wroclaw Panthers play, AFLE, kicks off on May 23rd. Vikings versus the Berlin Thunders. Evan Hillock is the first quarterback in franchise history for the Paris Lights organization. Their head coach is former Edmonton Elk David Shelton. The team will play their first game on May 30th. Evan Hillock, probably one of the most storied OUA quarterbacks of all time, where his time he had 11,547 yards, 88 passing touchdowns, all in 50 career games, and he's a three-time Yates Cup champion. He won 3 consecutive Yates Cups. What do you think about this? Him signing and with the Paris Lights. I know it's not your Paris Musketeers, but it's the Paris
Hmm.
Lights.
Yeah, so it's city rivals we're talking. Um, so yeah, that automatically means that I hate Evan Hillock. No, I'm joking. Evan Hillock, like this guy was such a dog at Western. Like he won the Vanier in his freshman year in 2021. Won like 3 straight OUA titles. Literally was so pinpoint accurate. Led that offense, led that team into so many battles, and he's definitely going to be missed by Western. I know Western fans are going to be missing the Evan Hillock era. So
I know they already are. They already gonna miss. They're missing him already.
yeah, Falls definitely has something cooking though.
Yeah, no, that's a quarterback factory machine over there in Western.
It will be now, given the guy who's leading it. But in terms, I like it for him. He wasn't invited to the CFL Combine even after his pretty stellar university career.
And I,
So
and I gotta say something about that. That's crazy, right? Like that's a dang shocker. And I think what the CFL is missing. I love the CFL. I'm a massive CFL fan. But the one thing that the CFL is kind of forgetting is the Canadian, right? Like they're forgetting the Canadian in the Canadian Football League because how was Evan Hillock never not, how did Hillock not get invited to the combine when he was probably the best quarterback the OUA has seen in a long, long time? And I really hope he lights it up in the whatever the letters I just said of this European League, the AFLE, the European, oh, no, American Football League of Europe. I think that's what it is. I don't have it on my computer. I don't have it on my thing anymore. I really hope he lights it up there for Paris, because I really want to see this guy in the CFL one day. And I really, 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 really wanted to see him in the CFL after his career concluded at Western. And it honestly disappoints me that no CFL team gave him a shot. And I think we need to see more Canadian quarterbacks in the Canadian game.
Oh no, yeah, that is definitely true. We don't you don't see a lot of homegrown talent get a shot at a university here, and it's sad to see. And it's why a lot of these guys do the European route, which is what Hillock is doing.
And it also makes sense on why Callum is doing the American route.
Yeah, it does. It does. I think the CFL's got a big problem with its image in terms of that, in terms of not giving shots and then even at that, not giving like actual starting non-special team roles. How about I
Mhm.
say that?
That's what I'm saying. They're forgetting to put the Canadian in the Canadian Football League.
Yeah.
I get it. I honestly like. I get it. America runs football,
Yeah.
but this is American football in Canada. This is the Canadian Football League. I I just think they do actually a great job with every other position. I just wish that we saw more Canadian talent at the quarterback position. Primarily special teams, I get what you're saying. Where like we have pretty good receivers that are just playing receiver. I'm playing special teams. Oh my God, I can't speak. And we have like a lot of good defensive players that are just playing primary. Uh,
Yeah.
like players that have had crazy good university careers. You're telling
Yeah.
me they have to go and play in the States to get a shot just at their own league? Does that not final? Is that not a little ridiculous?
Yeah, it is ridiculous. And it
Like
seems
we're not bashing the CFL though, because they honestly importing the ratio rule was fantastic. Like I'm a big fan of that because they could honestly the league could be filled with just American talent.
yeah.
Like the CFL has done a lot of great things for this Canadian game.
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to bash them. I just wish we saw a lot more Canadians at the quarterback position. I just have to reinstate that because again, there's a lot of soft people that like to twist words. We're not trying to bash the league here. We're just trying to say what can make the league better, and it's using your university sports system
Mhm.
to your advantage instead of losing kids that have to go play in college and in the states in the NCAA or NCAA Division two level to just get a chance at their own league here in the CFL.
Perhaps you include a limit in terms of how many American players you're allowed to have to bring in on a CFL roster.
See, I would honestly like that idea, but trust me, like some of these American players are my favorite players of all time. Like
Yeah.
Brandon Banks, like they're my favorite players. Trust me, I love my Canadians. I'm a Canadian. We're both Canadians. Um, we love our Canadians. When a Canadian does something good in like basketball, like that's literally ran by the Americans. Like the Americans own that sport. The Americans own that league. The Americans, that's their sport,
Yeah.
even though it was made by Canadians. Football, American. When we see a Canadian do something good, or when we see a Canadian do something good in an American owned thing, we got to give its props. Football though, when you have the CFL, it should be. I think it honestly should just be filled with 80, 60, maybe 60% of Canadians.
Yeah, it's just the game is and then the rule changes. They're starting to lose a little
But no,
bit.
I like the rule changes. I love it. Put those goalposts in the back of the end zone. Because what makes the NFL great? What makes the American game great?
I know, but that inherently what you just said is what people are mad about. The
Yeah.
fact that it's American and the fact that
And
it's
and and I'm okay with the feds being mad about that. Because you can honestly see it from both ways.
yeah.
Um, it's honestly though, this is gonna help grow the game, the CFL a lot more.
Probably.
Like no doubt in my mind that this is gonna help grow the game a lot more. Because my friends when I watch CFL games with right now, or it's forced on my house, so it's actually forced upon them when the CFL season, it's forced upon them um to watch it. Because like I'll never stop watching the CFL. I'll probably take the CFL over the NFL sometimes. Not
Yeah.
saying that that's just how big of a Canadian Football League fan I am. That I always hear that they have the same complaint. They say this league is great. They say this league is awesome to watch. They just think the rules suck. They're okay with the three downs. The Rouge fixed in the new rules. It's fixed now. They have the Rouge was stupid. It's fixed now. Um, the goalposts in the back of the ends are like needed that. And now when I told them that the rules are going to be instated, how the clock is looking, I think they're going to, when 2027 comes around and all these rules are instated, I think we're going to find a lot more people are going to be tuning in. I know for my friends, they're going to be tuning in.
Yeah, I will be tuning in a lot more myself.
Yeah, that's good.
More of a more of a casual CFL fan in general. Like I do not watch every game, so it's going to have a different appeal to me this coming year.
But just guys, before we move on, just gotta say one more disclaimer: we're not bashing the league in one
No.
whatsoever. We're not bashing the league in whatsoever. Like it's like what we've been saying, like what I was just saying too. Like I love this league. This is the greatest league of all time. I just wish we saw great talents like Evan Hillock come out of university and get a shot at the combine at least. Like we saw so many great French quarterbacks in Laval and Montreal at McGill, and they didn't even get a shot. I don't even want to ask this question because we are running low on time, and I really, really, really want to talk about soccer. And this is gonna be a question for next time: is what does Canadian quarterbacks have to do to get looked at by their own league? And that's a serious topic right there. I get what Trey Ford did. He won the heck. Like, do you have to win the heck? Do you have to win the heck, right?
Well, I mean, like yeah, it certainly helps. So, like, like Ethan Jordan was drafted last. No, I forget if he was drafted. So Ethan Jordan, the most recent Heck Right winner, wide receiver at Laurier, he was drafted prior to the start of the 2025 U Sports season. He was
Mhm.
drafted by Ottawa, the Ottawa Red Blacks, I believe.
Yep,
He was
that'll
cut.
work.
Yeah, and he was cut, and then now he's signed on to Montreal, I believe. I'm
Actually, I
not
don't know
sure.
where he's. I don't know where he signed on. I want to say Montreal or Saskatchewan.
I think it's Montreal, but he got signed pretty well right after he won the award. So let me see if I can figure out here. So it's Ottawa Red Blacks. That's what it is.
Oh, he's still he. He got reset. So he got cut, sent back to university like how it usually happens, and he got sent, and then yeah, then they called him back.
Yeah. So he was
Actually, that
drafted.
makes sense. That makes sense because they hold on to his rights for at least 2 or 3 years. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, he
He's
was drafted with 51st overall by the
yep.
Red Blacks, went to camp, and then he even accepted a practice roster spot so to begin the season. But then they cut him, went to Laurier, used up his last year of eligibility, won the heck, was easily the best player in the entire country. And yeah, now he got an opportunity again with the Red Blacks, re-signed on November 24th.
All right. Yep. That's great for him, but we do got to move on. But we got to move on now. Let's move on to Champions League. The first leg of the round of 16 has just wrapped up. A beating by Bayern Munich on Atalanta. Beating Atletico Madrid put on Tottenham Hotspurs. My Liverpool FC team losing 1-0, and Barcelona, Newcastle coming down to the wire. Arsenal tying with Leverkusen. Real Madrid beating, dominating Manchester City. Uh, and then PSG dominating Chelsea. Nick, take a game, talk about it. The floor is yours. How
Oh,
could you though? There's so many
how,
great games that
I
happen.
know. And how lucky am I too to be able to talk about these games because you know what? Let's talk about PSG. Let's talk about PSG.
Okay.
That's the game that I'm going to talk. And there's various other games that we can talk. We can talk Bodo Glimt if we want.
Oh,
The
I forgot about
giant
that. Blowing
killer.
game for Sport CP.
3-0 they're up on the first leg. But let's
Yep.
talk PSG
Okay, let's
because
talk PSG because it was a close game at first.
at first it was. And then everything happened. Good for PSG, bad for Chelsea. So Dembele was brilliant. Dembele won the Ballon d'Or last year. He's brilliant. Scored a great goal. Nice solo run around like midfield, and then went inside, outside, inside, and then popped it past the keeper. So
Just a
he was great.
beautiful goal. There's a
It was such a
beautiful one.
good
There's a
goal.
beautiful one.
And he's awesome. He's a really good player for them. And I know he hasn't played a lot this year because, he's pretty familiar with injuries. He's having a couple injuries this year. PSG as a whole, I think they're suffering from fatigue because last season went so long after winning
Yeah.
the Champions League and then playing the Club World Cup against Chelsea.
Club
So,
People don't really talk about that much about Club World Cup. Like that tournament has probably has a couple fatigue on some players.
oh yeah. And it's in the summer too, and it was right at the beginning of the year. So
Did
PSG
did you tune in? Did you tune in? Because I tuned in just a little bit. I honestly couldn't get behind it.
I couldn't get behind it. I'm not a fan of
Cool concept though. Got to give it to him. I
It's a,
think
it's just the fact it's just where it was, man. That's just what it was for me. It's where the environment didn't seem like it was like just booming with love for football.
no, right? Because like, the fans weren't. Was there some games there wasn't even fans at?
Yeah, and it's weird this year because it's like the World Cup finals can be played in East Rutherford, New Jersey, and it's
Yeah,
like
they're playing at MetLife.
MetLife Stadium, and it's all these other countries that have seen great World Cup games, these fabulous stadiums, and it's freaking the home of the New York Jets.
Yeah, it's in the and it's probably gonna be raining.
Oh, it's probably gonna be raining,
It's
but
probably gonna be like a storm, like a rain delay.
oh
Like
yeah.
play that. Why are they not playing it at a dome?
I don't know. I mean,
Like imagine playing the final of the World Cup in Jerry's World
oh, in Jerry's world, that's the Cowboys
at
bias.
AT&T Stadium. But continue with this
But
game.
yeah, yeah. So just to get back to the game, Kvaratskhelia was unfreaking real. Guy bagged 2 goals. His first goal was dis. Did you see his first goal when he
No.
came on?
Wait, describe the goal.
So Kvaratskhelia, he's playing along the left wing. He receives the ball and then cuts
Oh
inside.
yeah, I did see this one. I saw this one. Yeah, I didn't see the other one though.
Guy takes 2 steps, 3 steps, and then just bins it in the top right corner. He actually shoots it through in between two Chelsea defenders, and then it goes
Dog.
into the top right. And then the second one was a great tap in that he had. Nice pass, better tap in. He was amazing. This game also was special because it had the second highest XG mark in the last 5 Champions League tournaments. How's that for
I
a
didn't
stat?
even know that. That was crazy.
And guess who holds the record for the highest XG in a game?
Who?
Arsenal back in 2021, I believe.
Shit,
Uh,
it's been a minute.
it's been a minute. So, yeah, looking at this tie, going into the next leg at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea's down 3. It's 5-2 on aggregate. I 100% do not think this is over. And the reason why I'm talking about this game as opposed to Real Madrid Man City is because I do think that tie is over. I think Madrid stomped a Texas mud hole and
What do you
Man
think about your boy though? What do you think about your boy?
Fede Valverde, his third look, folks, if you haven't, look up the hat trick he scored and then watch and wonder at the third goal. This guy, this
It
guy,
was actually
he's,
so nice,
it
man.
was so nice. Probably one of the best goals I've ever seen live. He receives a chipped pass over the back line. He flicks it over a defender with his right foot without it even touching the ground. And then as it comes over, he blows past the defender and then volleys it into the far bottom corner. I love Valverde, but I think the difference between that game and this game is the fact that this game going back to Stamford Bridge, the fact that Chelsea already has beaten PSG within the last calendar year in a big game. That's another big thing. And PSG, they're a they're a different team than Chelsea. Chelsea is pretty well setting history for how many red cards they've been getting this year. So to say the least, they're very physical. And then
Yeah.
going into, the home leg at Stamford Bridge, I think it's going to be just as much up to PSG to continue to stave them off as it is to Chelsea to nip away at the difference. But that's my vote for the best game.
I really like that too. And then like Atletico Madrid was just a complete beating on Tottenham. Like Tottenham looked terrible. But let's talk about one game, and then I want to go to one other game. So I want to talk about two more games. I want to talk about the Brian game, not just because of the beating. I want to talk about Alphonso Davies. We're Canadians. We're gonna be keeping an eye on the World
Yeah.
Cup roster. Alphonso Davies seemed to gut it. Then he got hurt. What do you think the chances are for him to make this World Cup roster? Like, is he one injury away from just being, you know what, I'm not participating this summer?
I mean, I think the bigger thing is he one injury away from telling Bayern I'm done until after the World Cup? Because
I
looking at
like that. I like that. That's better thinking. That's way better thinking right
well,
there.
that's just where my mind goes because I know he's very patriotic. Like Canada means a lot to him, and
Yeah.
it's a home World Cup.
Yeah.
So he
He doesn't want to wait another 4 years to maybe be in because this is like who knows after this the next time Canada will make it in. Well, to be honest,
yeah.
they're actually to be honest like they are actually probably like they're actually a fantastic. They're not fantastic, but they're a pretty great soccer country right now. And CONCACAF is weak
Yeah,
besides the States and Mexico, but you know we've seen Canada like this is our second time seeing Canada in the World Cup in our lifetimes. Before
yeah,
that, people only see them once. So what if
and
they go on a drought like this? Like Alfonso's not gonna miss this World Cup.
I don't think
I
he
hope.
I don't think I don't know if Canada if and when they'll be as good as they are as a national team at this current point. So yeah, it's I don't think he should play another minute for Bayern Munich for the rest of the year if he's really serious about playing.
I'd love that. I would feel so calm
I
if he
mean,
for just for the World Cup at ease, just to know that he'll be turning his health to winter. Because man, like to be honest, they're gonna probably they have a solid chance at winning Champions League just without him.
oh, I mean, I think they're easily the best team remaining in the competition, especially given the fact that Arsenal drew against Leverkusen. I
Yeah.
think Michael Olise is the world's best right winger. I think he is just so clinical. It literally had a finish that would have made Arjen Robben proud. That's an old school Bayern Munich reference for you folks at home. Drifting down the right side, cutting into the left, and then using his left foot to curl it in. I mean, this team as a whole extremely dangerous. And the scariest thing, Daniel, is they beat Atalanta 6-1, the last remaining Italian team in the competition, by the way, without Harry Kane.
hmm
Harry Kane didn't even play. He was on the bench the whole time. So who was the
Imagine Atalanta comes back though, down five, and they score 6 goals.
well, that's going to be a tall
Like, how
task.
crazy
It's
would that
going
be? That would be the craziest thing of all
the
time.
craziest thing because it's going back to Bayern. It's going back to Munich as well. So the
Yep.
tie is going back to Munich. The first leg happened in northern Italy. So
And that's what makes it more embarrassing that it
yeah,
happened at home and loses 6-0. But we got to move on. We got to go and
yeah,
talk about one more game.
yeah,
Newcastle versus Barcelona.
yeah,
And 90th plus, so added time. In the
yeah.
90th minute, Barcelona gets awarded a penalty kick, and they score it to tie it 1-1. Newcastle played one tremendous game.
Yeah.
I think that might be probably the best or second best game that I've seen Newcastle play this year. What do you think about that game? Did you even catch it, or did you pay attention to it a little bit?
Yeah, I actually had it on the main screen. I was really
Right
paying
on.
attention to it. I think Newcastle, they played so well, but they blew it. They should have
Yes.
scored more than one goal. They blew it. Shout out Lewis Hall for absolutely bagging Lamine Yamal. Lewis Hall literally shut him out of the game up until obviously Yamal scored the penalty, but up until then, Lewis Hall made him a non-factor. And these two teams kind of play the same way. Like they're really fast and aggressive. They play passes over the back line, and then everybody runs, and then everybody converges, and it's really chaotic. And defense is kind of an afterthought for both of these teams. But all in all, I think Barcelona is going to win this tie because going back to Camp Nou, tied 1-1. First of all, they're already evened up in the
Yeah. But like going to Barcelona, like you're not winning that.
I don't think you're going to win that,
You're not going to
especially.
win that. But like, Newcastle they had a couple chances just to open up this game and they just couldn't capitalize. But that's also how good Barcelona played in the second half.
Yeah, but Barcelona's forward line has to be better. So Lewandowski,
Way better,
Yamal,
1,000%.
Rafinha, they have to be way better in order to win this game. And if they win, they're probably going to play Atletico because Tottenham is not coming back. I have no words on Spurs, and I would prefer if we don't talk about that
We're never
because
going to
they
talk
make
about
me
Spurs. This is a
mad.
Spursless. This is a Spursless channel.
Thank you.
Actually, after this, because I cannot wait to see them in the championship next year.
Oh my gosh, just seeing the likes of Millwall going to top.
What about like Hull City?
Whole city, they pull up to Hotspur Stadium and they're like, what the?
They haven't been in the Prem for so long that they forgot what it feels like to be in a Prem stadium.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. But yeah, great championship, Champions League ties, not championship. So yeah, be on the lookout for the second legs next week.
Yeah, next week, March 17th and 18th, the second legs go. For Tuesday, you got Sporting versus Bodo, Arsenal versus Leverkusen, Man City versus Real Madrid, and Chelsea versus PSG. Real Madrid's walking away with that. Chelsea's not coming back. Potentially, actually, I don't know. That's gonna be I think that's gonna be good, even though they're down 3 goals. I don't know. Like, there's something about Chelsea that has
I
no
like
quit in them.
Chelsea and I love
There's no,
Pedro. He's such a good striker.
and Arsenal and Leverkusen. I'm pretty shocked that Arsenal's overrated. Can we say that? They're gonna win the Prem. They're gonna win the Prem, but
Yeah, they're overrated as hell. They play Arteta plays a very boring brand of football, and it is not they just seem to play around with their food too much, and the fact that
right,
I feel
right.
like they can, but Leverkusen kind of beat them at their own game. Like they shut down the wide areas. Saka was pretty bad as they couldn't get anything going from the flanks. So if you shut down the flanks for Arsenal, good luck in having them beat you. Because look at their strikers. Gyökeres, he's got a big foot, but that guy he's like a fridge moving out there. Like he has no mobility and he's not a very I don't know. He's chaotic. That's the way I'd say it. He's
I think
chaotic.
that's a
And I
perfect
think
way to describe it, honestly.
when you shut down the
Wild,
wing,
maybe wild.
they're missing Odegaard badly.
Yeah.
They're missing Odegaard badly because he can create play from just about anywhere on the field. Eze can't. Eze's more of a striker.
Yeah, but
And Madueke too. Madueke, he's not bad. He's the reason why they're not losing
mhm.
going into the second leg because he got tripped up in the penalty area, which was not a penalty. If you go back and you watch that, it was not a penalty.
I should have wrote that. I was gonna ask your thoughts on that because I thought you were. I don't think we texted on that either.
It was just the most minuscule amount of contact ever. So basically,
What is a penalty nowadays, though? Sometimes they don't even
contact
award it. Sometimes they don't even award it for a handball anymore.
they say it's like the first point of contact. If you slide tackle somebody in the box and you don't touch the ball first,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah,
penalty. So that's what
but
happened here. You
yeah.
had a Leverkusen defender go in for the slide, and then literally he's like three-quarters of the way done his slide, and then Madueke kind of trips up, and then the Leverkusen player's toe touches Madueke's like thigh as he's falling. So he literally just falls on the
And
Leverkusen
didn't it
player.
go to VAR too?
Yeah.
Like that's like the worst thing about it.
Yeah. And then Havertz, like he came in, almost missed the penalty. Havertz came in and almost missed the penalty. So
hmm
the goalkeeper guessed right. But, they're 1-1 going into the second leg. Was the first leg played in Germany? I believe it
I
was.
think the first, you were actually, let's find out. I think you were right, but
Because if it's coming,
at the same time though, it was pretty quiet. It felt like for that penalty, no?
I felt like it. I feel like
Yeah, it was at Leverkusen. So
okay, so coming back to the Emirates in London, that's a different thing.
Arsenal's gonna win that.
They're gonna win it, but it's not gonna be convincing.
I know it's gonna
Yeah,
be
they
2-1. They're
can't.
gonna score 1 goal. It's gonna be a 1-0 game, and then it's gonna be on Ag. It's gonna be 2-1. But we gotta move on. We gotta end this show. Um, Nick, I gotta ask you this: what are you watching this weekend?
So big one for me is Selection Sunday. Just
Yep,
keeping track of the whole thing in terms of games. I have we have the shared outline. So I have the Italy Puerto Rico WBC semis.
yep.
I have the Raptors playing the East leading Detroit Pistons at 3:30 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. And then if you want to watch some soccer, tune into Man United versus Aston Villa, as both of those teams are tied on points and United need to win out basically to make Champions League next year. So those are my options for what I'm watching this weekend.
What I'm watching this weekend, I got the Leafs versus Sabres, but I'm not watching it because of the Leafs. I'm watching it because the Sabres are one of the funnest teams to watch in the National Hockey League. I got Selection Sunday just like you. I got Italy, Puerto Rico tomorrow and the quarters at 3 p.m. tomorrow. And I did have on that arena football. indoor football. Like the game got canceled for Monday because of snowstorm. Um, but yeah, honestly, if you guys want to watch the IFL, the Indoor Football League, on Monday, Quad City Steam Wheelers versus the Fisher's Fright names. And I
Good.
also got the entire conference tournament, every single conference tournament play. I'm not going to watch all of them, but if you guys at home are just tuning in, just watch a random game. Every single game has been great to watch. So I'll be tuning in to probably. Let's go look at the slate tomorrow. I know there's a lot. There's a couple finals, a couple semifinals. Um, and the Mountain West Championship. But the Ivy League tournament, Cornell versus Yale, a lot of history between those boys, those two universities, those Ivy Leagues. That's gonna be a fun one to watch, but I'm probably not gonna watch that. Michigan versus Wisconsin, I'll watch that tomorrow on Saturday. So when it comes out, it'll actually be today. So Saturday, Harvard versus Pennsylvania. I watched the last game. I watched the ending of the season, or it was probably 2 weeks. It was some a week and a half ago when these two played, and it was just awesome to watch. And then it'll be Selection Sunday, where the lotto finals will be happening um, on Sunday, and then in the afternoon. I'm pretty sure it's the afternoon. ESPN. I'm gonna say it's ESPN. It's not a committee. It's ESPN are gonna be making up who can go dancing and what the bracket's going to look like. On the Daniel Federico Show Instagram, me and Nick will create a bracket together and see if we can go perfect.
I mean, if we go perfect, man, like that just tells the world how much ball knowledge we have.
That just tells the world what is up. But I do got to end this. A lot of sports this weekend. Uh, Spring training is off to a full start. The Toronto Blue Jays are looking decent. A couple injuries though on that front. WBC is in full swing. Before this episode airs though, as of tonight, it's the greatest matchup: Canada versus the United States in the WBC, the World Baseball Clash quarterfinals. We're going to talk on it because it's coming out literally the next day. But in a couple hours, man, I'm excited. It's going to be Canada can't go 0-3 against the States, can they?
But
But overall, the United States should score 10 runs on this Canada team.
yeah, I mean, like the US have the upper hand to say the least. So, I mean, to me, if we stay close and it's not a complete and utter washing, then I
I think
feel
that's a
like
win. That's a moral victory right there for Team Canada. But we got to end this. That's Nick Tazio. I'm Daniel Federico. This has been the Daniel Federico Show. We'll see you guys again next week. Ciao.
Dow.